Hello again, I'm Robert Fithen, and I've been getting a lot of funk reissues lately, so I thought I'd put some of them together in just one video and have a funky, fresh reissues video for you, show some of the latest stuff I've been picking up, like this one from Cymande. This is Second Time Round. This is their 1973 album, and you guessed it, it's their second one. I think they had three back in the 70s of the original band and everything, and then they kind of went away for a while, had a couple strays later on, but mostly they just have the three. This one is on par with the first one, I think. By the way, I have the first one. I have an original of the first one. An original 8-track. Yes, that is the way you should have Cymande's first album, on an 8-track. I never did get the vinyl of this because I just thought the 8-track was so perfect. But yeah, this is a reissue, but it sounds fantastic. And I love the bass grooves in this. I love the whole feel of the album. It does get a little bit jazzy in places, a little too much for my taste, especially the last song. So they save that for the very end. The song is called Them and Us. Anthracite starts it off. That's a song that's got a great groove to it. You're right in the mood. You're like, this sounds nice. And then that damn saxophone comes in, but it only lasts for a little while. Speaking of sound, the pressing, it's a reissue. So this sounds terrific. It's nice and clear. Everything is just completely separate, and you can just pick out the different instruments. It's got a wide sound stage. Sounds phenomenal, and it comes on this beautiful green vinyl. I love this transparent green, matching my crushed velvet green shirt that I'm wearing right now. So yeah, nice green vinyl. I'm not sure, it comes in this paper sleeve though, that's the only thing. But I'm not sure why the green vinyl. It is beautiful, but it doesn't seem to really go with anything on the album. There's nothing green on here. There's no songs about green or whatever. Gatefold is mostly blue. Shows a nice photo of the band there back in the day, 1973, as does the back cover as well. But yeah, good stuff on here. The second track is my favorite. It's called Willie's Headache, though. That's not a great title for a song. It definitely didn't give me a headache, but the bass groove, again, in that is outstanding. These guys, a little bit of like a Caribbean funk kind of thing going on. Like I said, just a touch of jazz, not too much. Mostly the Caribbean vibes going on, the funk, the bass, the rhythms, the vocals. Everything is just tropical and just takes you right out of wherever you are, unless you're already in the tropics. But if you're here in the Midwest like me, it takes you right out of that. Put you in a whole other place like a great album should. Cymande is actually a Caribbean word for dove. So that's why they usually have like a dove thing going on their album covers. That's actually what Cymande means. But yeah, glad to finally pick this up. I wanted this for a while because I'm such a big fan of their first one. Got to get their third one at one point. Never even heard it. Don't even want to hear it until I'm ready to get the vinyl, until that's been reissued. So, but yeah, you can get this reissue pretty inexpensively. There's different color variants of it as well. It's pretty common. So don't pass this up. Cymande and Second Time Round. If you're in the mood for something that is just delicious sounding, and it was summertime, perfect time, maybe in the winter, maybe you can turn your winter blues into a nice summer feel. You just close all the windows and pretend it's summertime or something like that. Put a nice coastal scene on the TV and check out Cymande Second Time Round. Really glad I picked that up. So you may have noticed, in addition to the green velvet, I'm also wearing my little gold record necklace that I got when I was 7 years old. Yes, I usually don't have necklaces. I don't wear jewelry at all. So, it's a special video. Up next, it is the Ghetto Brothers and Power Fuerza. This is an album that I started seeing everywhere on videos. This originally came out on Salsa Records in 1972. And this started popping up in Vinyl Community videos. I know the Soul Disco channel was showing it. It's in the background all the time on some of the As It Should Be channel videos. I've seen it on a couple of other Vinyl Community things, just kind of hanging out. So this has kind of had a resurgence lately. Psychedelic even showed this, which was kind of different. He was doing some sort of DJ battle with a funk DJ. He was the psych DJ. It was a funk psych battle in Nebraska at a club. And he picked this up and was showing it on camera. And, when you have a psych funk, war going on with DJs, you know who's going to win that. The audience would be the winner of that. That's a battle where everyone wins. But yeah, Ghetto Brothers, Power Fuerza. I do not speak Spanish. I meant to look up what Fuerza meant, but I forgot. So I don't know what that means. I think is it fire? Fumar Fire, something, I don't know. But Ghetto Brothers, and so, you know, like I said, I'm seeing this everywhere, so I thought I'd pick this up, and it really surprised me. These guys were an actual tough gang from the South Bronx in the early 70s, and you didn't mess with these guys. It's not like, hey, let's mess with some people. I know, how about the Ghetto Brothers? That did not happen. I don't, these are not guys to play around with. They do not look like guys that you want to play around with. So it's legitimate here. And so I thought this would be more of like a social commentary, like a tough record. And in fact, the back of it has all this, you know, a script on it, like, you know, this album contains a message to the world from the Ghetto Brothers. It's all about how it's a community organization dedicated to bringing people together through music, and don't forget about the little people, and one day the little people will no longer be the little people, we'll all be together and equal, and the fight continues and all of that. So I thought it was going to be more social commentary stuff, more tough stuff. They are Latin, by the way, too. This is Latino music, so I did not realize that at first either. So great music on here, and recorded really well, especially for sort of an independent release like this. This is their only album. Had a very, very small release when it was first out. If you have an original of this, it's worth about $1,500, $1,200, something like that. So yeah, let's get the reissue for $25 or something. But what this is a lot of love songs. Nice love songs, great music, but it was a little surprising that this is a lot of love songs, like, you know, the girl from the mountain, and you know, I got the happy feeling. I did not expect these guys to do a song called Get the Happy Feeling, which, by the way, the beginning of that sounds a lot like Lighthouse, One Fine Morning. But, you know, you say that you're my friend, you're not my friend. I saw a tear. I thought guys like this, if they saw a tear, it would be because they just, you know, busted somebody up, but they saw a tear, a romantic song. I do like Ghetto Brothers Forever. That's when they finally start sounding like they're, you know, singing about something that they're uniting and fighting the power. Viva Puerto Rico Libra. But they just say that over and over again in that song. Another one where they just repeat the stuff is an actual Spanish song. Again, I don't speak Spanish, so I don't know what it means, but Mastica, Chupa y Yala. I don't know what mastica means. I think the E is, the Y is and I don't know what Yala means. But I think I know what chupa means. I am familiar with that Spanish word, if I got the right word there. Chupa, I think I know the English translation for that. Ghetto Brothers, Power Fuerza. I'm glad I got this. I was just very surprised by the lyrical content when it was all said and done. I was like, okay, this is a lot of tender love songs. Was not expecting that at all. Chairman of the Board is the band, and Skin I'm In, celebrating its 50th anniversary with a reissue. It hasn't been reissued since 2019, and that's its only reissue. Not a really expensive record. It's about a $25, $30 record, but I've really never seen this anywhere, so I figured I'd just get the reissue. Nice side panel here with all kinds of information on the band. They are a Detroit-based band. They had a really big hit single right out of the gate on their first album called Give Me Just a Little More Time. Used to show up on a lot of K-Tel albums way back, so that's how I knew that song. It was on like 3 or 4 of them, I think. It was an okay song. I wasn't a huge fan or anything, but this is a lot more gritty, a lot more funky. That's more of like a soul pop song. That Give Me Just a Little More Time. This one just has some great funk on here. Great musicianship too from some guys from the early Funkadelic era. Is a lot of the backup band here, including William Nelson. No, not Willie Nelson. William Nelson. Totally different person. This has got some great tunes on here. The single off of this was Finders Keepers. That closes off the album. That song actually ends with this big reverb kind of psychedelic echo thing that's just kind of right out of nowhere. So that's kind of a nice surprise at the end. Life and Death, Sly Stone song. They've got that cut up into 2 parts with a nice instrumental part in the middle. That is super funky. That is great. It's one of the best parts of the album there. Just a lot of fun on here. A lot of celebratory type stuff. A little bit of social commentary thrown in as well with the title track. And they do a cover of the Gene Pitney 60s hit, Only Love Can Break a Heart. That's like, I think it was written by Burt Bacharach and Hal David. Sonny James had the big country hit of that in the 70s. That's the one I used to hear all the time growing up as a kid. But they definitely turn it into a nice soulful love-making ballad. They've got the breakdown in the middle with the talking like, baby, I need a love that sticks to my ribs. I know you've been hurt before, but baby, you know, that whole thing. So that's great. A lot of diversity on here. Like I said, they go a little bit of social commentary, a lot of great funk, a little bit of slowed down Quiet Storm type stuff, you know, 70s type Quiet Storm. I don't think it was called Quiet Storm back then, but chairman of the board, don't miss out on this one. Skin, I'm in. If you've only heard the big hit, give me a little more time. It does not sound like that. So a great reissue too. This one has the inner sleeve here is great because it features, again, more information on the group. Nice covers here of the singles sleeves and the single labels from this. So nice packaging on this as well. Definitely worth picking up. Royal Flush. Now here's one that's really kind of obscure here. This is a band from Chicago. This was released in 1980. It's had a few reissues over the years, a couple of CD issues too. An original of this is like definitely hard to find and worth hundreds of dollars, like $250 or something like that, crazy. So get your hands on the reissue if you want this. This is funk going into the 80s here. This kind of sounds a little bit like early Prince, but they definitely got their own touch that they add to it of somewhat corniness. It's a little more corny, a little more goofy in some spots, you know, like, make your booty pop, you know, and then they got the popping, you know, it's that kind of thing. And then deep voice guy coming on with the whole, like, funk will enter your ears, or maybe it'll hit you from the side and go to your private area. So yeah, that's the actual song, A Hot Spot. It's got two parts on here, side one and side two. Funk Power kind of sounds like another song, Funky Muzak, from Kenny Dell. It's basically, I think it is the same thing. It's the instrumental, and they just put some words on it. So I'm not sure how they pulled that off, but yeah, doing it to Deaf is on here. You know, I know you've never heard of any of these titles, but you got to check this out. It's fun. It's over the top, silly sometimes, but if you like the 80s funk with a little more synth in there, a little nastiness going on, a little touch of nastiness, like I said, like some early Prince, Royal Flush from Chicago, and Hot Spot from 1980. Very, very rare record that just got another reissue. Patti LaBelle, don't have any new reissues from her, but I did pick up her peach cobbler, her peach apple cobbler. And just like you'd expect from Patti LaBelle dishes, this was absolutely delicious. This was in the house for one day, and this is all that's left of that motherfucker. So, yeah, delicious. Thank you, Patti LaBelle. There's only 2 people that live in this house, and that thing was gone in an hour. Okay, so finally, it's not a reissue. It's an original from 1972. It is Joe Tex, and gotcha! Always liked the sound of that song. Some of the lyrics, when you really think about it, are kind of like, okay. The 70s were a different time, I guess. I was only a small child during the 70s, so I wasn't really into the, you know, how adults spoke to each other, or in some cases how adults would speak to much younger people. I'll talk about that song in just a little bit. But most of this is pretty funky stuff, pretty, you know, gritty. His vocals are, you know, have that grit to him. He kind of sounds like he's trying to be James Brown in a few things with his vocalization. Like he even does the, hey, you know, that type of thing. So yeah, Joe Tex, I've liked Joe Tex for a while. He can be kind of funny, silly, you know, but he can also do the tender love songs. And, you know, his girl went on vacation for 3 weeks and came back with another man, and baby, it just ain't gonna work. Well, obviously. But yeah, that's a song on here too. There's a song on here called Bad Feet that takes it a few steps, no pun intended, too far, you know, with the goofiness. Not a fan of that. It's actually listed on the front cover here. Like, there's other songs you could have put on the front. But, yeah, tender stuff on here, you know, the ballads, and then the gritty, funky stuff that I like music-wise, style-wise. Again, some of the lyrics, though, you know, I'm gonna steal kisses and whatever. That's fine. People steal kisses. I guess that's acceptable. But he's got a song on here called You Said a Bad Word. That's the one that takes the I Gotcha to a whole other level. Because the I Gotcha song is kind of like, I gotcha now. You're going to give it to me. Give it up. You said you were going to give it to me. Give it up. Come on. Give it up. Give it up. It's like, is that any way to talk to somebody that you want to give it up? Can't you? I mean, there's other ways to get it, I think. But it's just demanding right now somebody give it up. Did she give it up? Did she do that? I don't know. But you said a bad word. Now let me ask you a question. When you've got a girl who has said a bad word and a man is saying, that's it, I'm going to tell your mom that you said that bad word. How old do you think that girl would be? That's probably not a very old girl. You know, that's probably not a teenager, right? Somebody said, the girl says a bad word, a guy's like, I'm going to tell your mom you said that word. She's going to whoop you and make you come inside. That's probably a little child, right? He's like, you said a bad word. I'm going to tell your mom unless you do this thing to me, and I'm going to whisper in your ear what it is. Come on, give it. Yeah, you can do that to me. Come on now. Come on. Give it. Yeah, I'm going to tell your mom if you don't. Come on now. It's like, what the hell is going on in this song? So, I mean, you know, it's obviously a little girly, and I don't know, you know, I'm not going to try to make some kind of insinuation about what he wants her to do to him, but it doesn't sound like he wants her to, I don't know, you know, sing a song or something. I don't know. And then once I guess she's done it, he comes back again and says, you know that deal we had earlier? Well, we can forget that. I'm going to tell your mom if you don't do something else to me now. Come on. He does this real creepy laugh kind of thing. And the 70s were a different time, I guess. But yeah, Joe Tex and I Gotcha. Love the Dial Records label there. That's really cool. So, you know, nice shiny vinyl. Like I said, sounds great. Lyrics, you got to overlook some of them, I guess, to get to, you know, get around those to get to the funky music. And yeah, Joe Tex and I Gotcha. Wrapping. Yeah, it's time to wrap it up now. So those are my funky fresh reissues, and then one original that I've picked up recently. I just want to kind of combine them all in one video. I've been really on a funk thing lately. Once you start getting, it's like funk music, psych music. It's like I was talking about earlier. It's kind of the same to me. Not sound wise, but it's like deep wise. You know, I want that deep stuff, that obscure stuff, that raw stuff that, you know, you don't hear a lot. And it's the same with both genres for me. Those are my two ones that I go to when I want something, you know, reissues or whatever. Get that obscure stuff. Get that stuff that somebody has unearthed and thankfully repressed. And glad to have these. So thanks for watching the video. Thanks to the vinyl community for all of the great videos that have been coming out lately. I'm Robert Fithen, and hopefully I will talk to you again soon.